What's good, invisible people? My name is Chaos. Welcome back to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series here on the channel. We're continuing on as we have more to do now because we proved that there's a handprint that matters. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. So they admitted to forging evidence. I didn't know. I never knew that. I thought it was just the name for the Joe Dark killings. Everyone's heard about these killings but me. Well, I want a Dark convicted so badly that's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean what happened to you? It's all there in that file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. What do you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night of Prosecution Neil was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you. Yes, I was witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Tell me more. Does he have a car? Happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed he was running from somebody. He pulled out his knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw was then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture. Don't remember what happened. Remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall, so you weren't able to testify about that. No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean made up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, it was all my fault. If I could just have testified properly, none of this would have happened. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that the crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. And Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma, you've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words couldn't come out. I drew a picture, but I wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Jeez. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I wanted to become a scientific investigator. I wanted to be able to fight crime with my testimonies, and find the evidence to make our airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick, but there's something about that bothers me about this crime. Something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview, and they fled into my sister's office. Why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's office and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. I used to be a detective? Yeah, you need to have another talk with her. Here we go. You got some splaining to do, girl! Lana, Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. I keep causing you trouble. I don't know what that voice was, but it was just so weird that it came out of my mouth. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, you're wrong. If an innocent person might be found guilty, believe me, I understand the risk. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SO9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. No, I don't want to examine this stupid room. I want to talk to the lady. A lot of revelations were uncovered in the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that the case is largely connected to another 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial really wasn't fair, was it? I believe in you, Lana. I believed no matter what happened, you always stick to the truth. You couldn't be helped, Emma. At the trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all the drama aside, the fact of the matter is at 5:15 there was a murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What was the witness Miss Starr said? About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why would you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. We still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of the police force back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use it, the experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to the resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigative lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They have in the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. This is the first time Marshall worked with his brother, and he was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was a serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That's when his final murder took place. We tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones in questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stage and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let the guards down and fled the room. From there he went straight to the office shared by Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you're the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers with Gant and Marshall while we were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall and the victim, Emma. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, and Emma, who had passed out. Then the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion that day and he lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma and carried her out of the room and just held her. Can't blame her after all. Yeah, I can't blame her for that. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, huh? I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But the case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to the extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, to his actions came to surprise me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of the case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in an office that Damon and Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies himself, the chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at that office. Anything else you want to tell me about these files? Alright. She is useless. It's Taboo. Shut up about Taboo and just help me out here. So you're not going to help me anymore. I'm out of here. We need to go to criminal affairs and get into there. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kind of quiet around here today. You're right. The chief detective seems the same, though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later. High noon. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. Never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que Sarah. You never know where life's gonna lead you, eh, Bambina? Should've known all my luck run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why the prosecutors head west. If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Talk to me, buddy. Something's fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the texts thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the intentional autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match for the wounds the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, the possibility was erased. Ooh. In that case, left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SO9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains, and he was one of the best prosecutors around. Just had made detective when it went down. It's our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the king of the prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Must have been really close to his brother. The day of the SO9 incident took place, what? That wasn't the same day as... That's right, the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning by nightfall there was thunder. Can't believe 2 years are gone by already. Tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Detective Goodman was murdered and the evidence was locked and was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in the case, and we all knew that later. Every detective involved in the investigation, save one, was taken care of. Goodman was the only one who wasn't. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in the tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioner would get suspicious. So they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambita. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky. Investigation lead Damon Gant and the second command Lana Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After that ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone knew or said so. Chief Prosecutor Scott was totally different when she was a detective. Yeah. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Yeah. So there you have it. None of my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in the court today. That boy Edgeworth is my enemy. He was the one who used the falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict, but someone else was the one that gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. That's kind of sad. I'm still writhing around today. Oh, nobody. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's dancing. Yeah. Alright. Can I take out his batteries? Alright, I was just looking at it again. Maybe I can go here. No one's here today, not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking at what went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court that today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15. Yeah, but I thought we were finally making headway in our case. But it looks like instead we ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. I mean, I don't think we're going to find anything new here. Yeah. The victim had died when the killer closed him on the trunk. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these are all the same things. Can I go somewhere? Alright, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago, I guess we'll just have to come back later. Dude, there's nowhere to go. You won't talk to me. You won't talk to me at all. Let me see if she'll tell us about who... No. She won't talk to us about the phone call either. She is not letting a peep out. Yeah. Can I use it on her? I mean, we expect not to see anything in here, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm already stumped. That's not... We're not even 20 minutes in this video. I'm stumped. I'm not stumped. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Wow, thanks. The chief prosecutor saying what he did, decision about what to do. Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is usually the word for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the building, take the top elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. Lots off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets this unique technique. Well, what are we heading for? Let's head to the chief's office. He said we can't go there. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, this is ornate. And look what's in the left corner. He's got an organ in here, dang. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take the organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. Thought I was a genius. I never could remember where the C was. Oh, hi. Oh, it's you, too. Chief Gant. Put that paper he was reading in his desk. Righty-o, you ones have been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. Can't appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with the Miss Marshall conduct. Lana's provocative statement. A provocative statement. Oh, you mean a forged evidence. 2 years ago has passed since that incident. Now time, mine how the time flies. See that big picture on the wall there? The pictures of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil. We took her to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with the picture. There's a sword. On the... Yeah. There's a sword on the shield. Alright, can you stop being, like, happy for a second? Yeah, there's just not a sword on the shield. What happened to that sword? You know, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there's matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's get out together. Oh, but this crime scene was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Case has been long since over. No need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems like the case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief can't deny our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. I mean, we go back to criminal affairs, and then we go up, right? Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe. Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Yeah. Say, have you two seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No, why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like battles between you two in court. Sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Saying stuff. Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. He's amazing talent as prosecutor, keeping him safe from those who don't like him. Now with all this, are there really so many people who hate him? Or would only those with talent rise to the top? Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime, my treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems like you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all the pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth might crack. Tell me about the SL9 instrument. Actually, I took a good look at that file earlier while the coffee was brewing. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall who was trying to protect some girl? Me. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think he had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look at it. It's all written in there somewhere, okay? Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Okay. Here's the quote-unquote murder weapon. Jeez. About this. Hey, is that a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it? I believe it would be the broken murder weapon you're speaking of. What? What are you doing with that? The case has been closed. The knife's been locked away in a locker. The day Detective Gumshoe was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from his locker. Detective Goodman was murdered, not a Gumshoe. Jeez. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what was it, Detective? Quick, before you forget. Tell me about the evidence. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. Well, he traced it back to the store he bought it from, plus it had fingerprints on it, too. So no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what it did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside a stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Yeah. Dark scribes. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him go take serial killing? One day, on his way from home, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed into an animal. An animal? He killed the man that witnessed the accident, then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. He killed a kid walking by. Oh my gosh. The jogger came up on the scene as well and killed him as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, it's all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence, so he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, and unluckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. Okay, Emma. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where the prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, the detective's ID card can unlock the door. What, really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'll be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I can be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It's Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. Gumshoes are our only chance of getting... I wonder if there's something that we could show him to make him change his mind. Let me share a little advice with you, this detective. Don't, okay. If I have a clue to get in. I have to show him something. I still don't know what this is. Is that a red herring? Did they give me a red herring? About that jar, I think I've seen it somewhere. Somewhere maybe someone's memories of previous lives. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like at the chief's office. And he's yelling at me. Chief Gaines. Who would have seen that before? It's in his office. It's behind Lana. I didn't notice that. You just said it, sir. Hey, that's it. That's the king of the prosecutor wars. Edward won the other day. Yeah, okay, we got that. Why is it broken? There's one reason. I'll tell you later. There's got to be something that can get him in. Oh, lost item report, huh? You're very impressive, detective. You knew what it was right off the bat. Well, I am a master of misplacement, you know. Master, that's got a cool ring to it. The way I see it, things are meant to be lost, and they're meant to be lost. Higher power at work. A higher power. Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. That's not what I need. Wasn't I supposed to show him something that would let me into the room? The lock can be opened without a matching fingerprint. Besides, there's no reason for the murderer to touch his own locker. It wasn't a locker with one years with blood on it. The handprint of the real murderer. It's a glove hand without any fingerprints. Shh! You're going to arrest me, you'll defend me, won't you? If that happens, I think you're better pleading with Edgeworth. Yeah, you've seen it in his office. That's where it was. I'm just trying to show you the evidence. I've been studying this thing, presentation. I think people are accusing him of injustice. I, for one, ain't buying it, pal. Oh, yeah. I can't know. I don't know what this is doing, or the lack of what it's doing, rather. It's just kind of concerning. How get in? Detective, here's my attorney badge. Shows me every time we meet, pal. Real men show their police badge. Enough said. I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card would be nice. That's me, after all. What's wrong with that? There's nothing else. The blue badger? This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was the guardian of the bloodstain on the living in this locker with his life. It's more than you can say about most officers nowadays. Would have saved us a lot of trouble if you hadn't guarded it so well. Yeah. Alright. I thought there was something... You wanted me to show you something. Because I needed something to get you to talk, right? I needed to be able to get to the office. There's Neil's chest. Alright, that wasn't it. There's something I needed to do. Yeah, he became a murderer. I wanted to read that again and see if I could see. He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. Killed a kid. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. And then when he was burying the bodies, Jerry came upon the scene and killed them as well. I mean, that's really what you're supposed to, like, that's killing 101. There's no witness, you can't get pinned for it, really. And at that point, it's just alibis. Alright, well, I can't do anything there. Oh, we got something here. I wonder if Edgeworth's back yet. There he is. Looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? You sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. It's another allegation to me. Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Talk to me, buddy. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do to erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. That bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, and my responsibility is the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. Seems all you do is worry me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. But that's why my superiors are banking on it. I never thought that the case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists that run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists. That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became the prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew from what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. So we saw a picture taken around that time. A picture. Something strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened the day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in the ceremony of the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded with this. Those receiving awards can exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning and I drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends of clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. It was until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, the chief asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence of his case that was closed half a year ago. Asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. That's right. So the chief... So here's what happened. Here's what happened. You're gonna mark it right now. You're gonna come back to this moment. And you're gonna be like, Chaos figured it all out and had it all ready from this moment on. What happened? So... Somebody... Probably Marshall, because he's a big, strong man. Or Gant. One of the two of them. Was in... It probably was Gant. It probably was Gant. Gant killed Goodman in the evidence room. That he is 777 because he's the only one that has that high of an access number. Right, we know this. What he did, he stuffs the body into Miles' car. Right? He stuffs the body into Miles' car. He asked Miles to go into the evidence room so he could pin it on Miles and get rid of Miles. But as he's trying to get evidence, as he takes all the evidence out, right? That's why he needed Goodman. So he took Goodman in here to open the locker. He killed him, took the evidence out, and then stashed him in his car. All that was cleaned up, comes in, all that fun stuff. Blah, blah, blah. But it happened that the Chief Gant actually killed Goodman. And he told Miles to drive away with the body in his trunk. Then something happens with Lana where she's going to get the evidence or something. And he gets out of... Like, she finds the body in the car, and she, instead of stabbing him, there's only a single knife wound. She's pulling the knife out. And that's the picture that Star gets from below. That's my theory. I want her to put this up on a shelf. There's no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean anymore? That's who I was last year. It's good to dwell on what's good to dwell on the past. He's asking me. Why can't I just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling about the shield. Look, do you notice anything different? Different? Yeah, don't you remember the other shield in the court record? So I better present the other shield. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. The prosecutor Neil Marshall is just started making a name for himself. Looks like that was taken when he received the King of the Prosecutor's Trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes. The trophy Mr. Marshall was holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. Those are the awards based on. Well, tell me more about the award. This award originates from the ancient Chinese tale. The Chinese word for contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, the second means shield. Have you heard of the story? Me? Sure, everyone knows that. Why would you tell, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Q, he was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. So it's like the immovable, so they couldn't be used against each other. Thank you for objecting. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive, but then again, you've only heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. Thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. The chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends when the merchant is lost for words, but it is our nature to pursue the matters into their conclusion, even if its result is something as ugly as this. Well, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had a halberd part of the award abolished. Yep. I noticed that. Alright, thanks for talking. Goodbye. Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star, I guess she's out for lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who ever sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. That's a weird analogy. So I thought you'd go digging up a case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence case was due for transferal. This can't be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Yes. Joe Dark. The name is I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pleasure. So I don't think it was ever more alive than when I was then. Those days with a steam here and then a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, he must have been going through hell. Because of his brother's death. They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her, Lana Skye, my sister. The best of the best were put on the SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. The legendary pair was able to reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark was got what he deserved, so it was obvious the evidence produced in the court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear while other items were kept secret. Do you have any proof anything illegal was done? I'm proof enough of what happened. If the case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. I always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. I'm interested in that. Lana's transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, this thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's alright. Having solved the SO9 case, his position as chief was secured. There's only one thing left for him to control. And no one else could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What do you mean? That's why Lana was transferred? If you control the chief prosecutor, you control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how can you control Lana? I don't know, but one thing is for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for her change. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create a fine cuisine. Hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant with the lead investigation, and Lana in the second command. They were the best. They saw all kind of cases, guys, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism, in particular, was most unreal. His magnetism? That means his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the case he handled. Incredible evidence, you mean? Oh yes, there are rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. Take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was fooled, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. Jake's brother was murdered. She felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why'd she have to turn so cold after that? Maybe you can, Alright. Yeah, she doesn't have anything else to tell us. Maybe she can tell us SO9? No. She's just done. She's just done. Alright, you're good. Thanks for, nothing. I'm not gonna get any more on Lana. Oh, you're back! You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. Turn to regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'll be my neck on the line. That office is the last cleaning of the assault crime. I have to take a look in there. It's gotta be something we can do to get the detective to change his mind. Well, maybe there's another talk. There's gotta be something. I never read this. I don't know what I need to do to get him to do stuff. Now, obviously, you aren't helping me. And there's nothing here. The only thing I can think of is get Edgeworth to make him do stuff, but... So it has to be with Gumshoe himself. We have to be able to get him to talk. How do we get him to let me in? How do we get him to let me in? Maybe Edgeworth's knife? I mean, oh yeah, we read that already. So we know the knife and the thing are gone. These two don't get us anything. I mean, with the Halibur gone. Oh, everybody knows that. There was this dragon. It's a dragon. It had a thing for shield. See, not exactly the version we heard. But it sounds more exciting. It was kind of gory after that. I'll spare you the details. Ah, dang it. Okay. None of those are new. I'm about to say, that's the tag attached to this online. I believe it would be the murder weapon you're speaking of. What do you do with that? Ever since Kate's been in the locker. Yeah, it was found in the car muffler. That's it. Now I remember the criminal piece of evidence. She came back and showed me that knife. What was it before you forget again? Yeah, it's unhelpful. I just bought this up. Now I'll go around detecting blood traces too. Wow, it's a new type. I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches of your base height. Base height. Hey, let me see that. Let me see that. Looming tall, new and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces? Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol. That's why the lady at the counter had the smirk on her face. That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Gumshoe, must have entered the room with somebody else. Someone with an executive office number. 777777777. That's what's 7 too many, Detective. Executive officer. Must just have a hunch. Yeah, I know. Hey, that powder is used for detecting fingerprints. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us. He did what? He gave you what? Are you okay, Detective? Quick, run! Achoo! It's any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with a wet paint. Why am I not comforted? The screwdriver doesn't tell us crap. Goodman's letter, he already told about the lost item. Is there something we can do with Edgeworth? Oh yeah, the piece of paper, right. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth's sitting right there. Let's distract him, I'll check it out. Hey Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. Just let me see what the girl's doing crawling around my feet. What letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked, you don't need to tell me. The path I've walked, it's just been one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. No one else should forgive me either. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything. Yep, if that's anything to get Gumshoe moving, it's gonna... Let me try that again. If there's anything that's gonna get Gumshoe moving, it's Edgeworth. So I was very right with that. I just was missing this piece of... This is crumpled up piece of paper. No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Is he ever not serious? I can't believe he pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth feels really responsible. When I first met him, though, he was cold and nice, too. But he's different, I know now. He's trusted detectives to provide him with sound evidence. We just betrayed him. Detective. That's it, I've made my mind up. But, here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective, thank you. Just out of curiosity, what's his ID number? Look, his eyes are half shut. Even his mouth is half open. Hey, each of his shirt buttons are on a different notch. He's got a narrow end of the tie in front. This one without being photogenic issue. I wanted to see his number. Just because I was interested. Alright, we're going to the office. See ya. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Here we are. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I count on you to bail me out. Yeah! Ah! He smacks him again. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah, Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking, I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, what's the point of giving us your ID card? Hey, don't do that to my card. How did they ever get a chance to come in here? So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Come on, we can find this out. Alright. The desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana, on that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Gant's office now. He's practically strict policy in preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us himself at a New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one touched that desk. No one except Chief Gant, the cleaning lady who's here each morning. Alright. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came in here to look around, right? Because it seemed one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, your only reason for coming in here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah. You wouldn't be, no. No, there's no way, never mind, don't worry about it. Okay, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on! Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? If somebody tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. We'll just let it go at that. Sorry. Okay, so what's bothering you? You don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant, so it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, neutering me again. It's safe, isn't it? Saves the word ripe with intrigue. Of course, if you say so. Looks like the code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. Input number. You know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know, you want to try the birthday. It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Back to chicken. Thank you. Bingo. What numbers did you enter? Whose birthday was it, pal? 77777777. The final ID card on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officers who entered that room that day. You mean 77777777? That ID number? I think you're the 1 7 shy this time. You can leave me one thing, Chief Gant. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone here to take care to look inside? Yeah, but I don't want to just do that. Miss it. Is there any money in there? How much do these have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from the broken cup. Someone looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else here too. A handprint. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing that shirt like that once. The chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it's just a thought. Is that it? That's all in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Cloth with a handprint on and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove something that they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. How are these two related to ISL9? Well, I know. This is the real deal, isn't it? It's on the armors and weapons. Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for his limitations. First a pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone in this room? What do you mean? We're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying it. Send in my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh, be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in the armor as we speak. I don't think he fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. This is his desk. Wow, it looks like the size of the Chief Grant's desk. Speaking of which, when we were here earlier... Shoot you. Yeah. With the paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SO9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about the evidence list. Normally, they're twice as long. That's right, I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-sized list of evidence. List of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? Anyway, the chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Interesting. Chief's organ she used to be sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. It's It's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. The detective screws up, the chief calls into his office, and he makes them listen to the working for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except the ringing in their ears. Aren't they the chief's ears effective? He never listens to anyone anyway. Yeah. It's an instrument of punishment, by the way. That was funny. That's a good pun. I didn't read it. Shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. This is Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous character. There's not even any dust on the desk. It looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Game must keep it clean in memory of a partnership. They were stuff legends are made of. Does he keep in memory of her or in memory of the crime? Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash right through and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about going something like that. This stuff. Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that. This was taken that day 2 years ago. After receiving his award, the trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Went along with the chief to get to question dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead in just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Alright, I think I have to present... So the chief was reading before, wasn't it? You know when we first came in here? Yeah, it looked like the right side of the form had been torn. So Mr. Edwards' list really was only half the whole thing. Sometimes something else is bugging me more than that. Take a look at the back part of that form, pal. The back? Let me flip it. Oh. I wonder what this is. Look like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I'd better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving around like that, Mr. Wright? I better not forget this picture. Alright, well I guess we're done. Or do we have more to do? Understand, don't you? Alright. I don't... Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put it back together. Oh, those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar the piece in the middle missing from the evidence case? That's right. One of the shards had an SO9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You just found a fragment we just found. You mean this one that was in the safe? I guess that one. That was the one in the safe. Now you mentioned it, it's ringing a lot of bells. See, let's see if it fits. Let me take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what your rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. To prove that Gamp was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. I wonder how it fits. How do I rotate? Like that. There, it fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gamp willingly knowing he hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SO9 incident. Hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece that you just attached. It's different from the others. How so? There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would the Chief Gamp hide this in his safe? Okay. What else did we find in there? That's a good... maybe we should, spray? Got it. Well, this area must have been covered in blood. This is from that incident? It must be, where the prosecutor Neil was murdered. 2 years have passed since... The reaction's kind of dull, so a murder really did take place here. I don't know what else I'm supposed to find, but... I want to know what happened to that sword. Feel a lot better. This jar is complete. But only raises another question. What was the piece you're doing in the chief's safe? More importantly, why wasn't there any more money in there? It's safe for money. Isn't that what safes are meant for anyway? I think the outcome of tomorrow's trial might just hinge on this. That was really it. That was really it. You don't. You're telling me you have nothing else to contribute besides that. Oh my gosh. Alright. We have, there was something else in that. What else was in that, in the safe? It was that piece. Was there, oh, it was that cloth, Yo, what's up, Mitch? Welcome in. That cloth, how do we, I mean, I guess we're fingerprinting, right? Detective Gumshoe, I'd like to have a look at this. Hey, I know what this is. You want to take some fingerprints? It's a great idea, Detective. Alright, let's go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking your hand out like that? Go ahead. Take my fingerprints. Oh, it's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about the cloth we found in the safe. Oh, yeah, I knew that. I'm the one with the handprint on it, right? Jeez, where's your sense of humor? Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Once they've been absorbed in the print, allow the rest away. Alright. I think we want to chest the thumb. These games are awesome. I love these games. I'm having so much fun. This particular trial is a little bit difficult, it seems. I'm just not figuring it out, or I'm pressing the wrong button, so. Amazon won't be good for matching prints, will it? Doesn't look like we'll get a clearer print from this. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Okay, let's try, I think this is our clearest one. It's not complete, but it is good. This is a lot of powder to put on this, by the way. There we go. And if I'm right, it should be Gantz, but it's not. Is there darks in here? That's pretty similar. It's not the same. Stars is the same, similar too. That's it. It's Emma's. It's Emma's. It's a match. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing in here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints are they? It seems like the prints are too old. Ain't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they would be Dark's prints. Psst, hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What does the kid's prints do inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. That's not very kind. If it wasn't for this ID card, he would have been useless. Is that right? You in the coat. Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd come back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out the window and saw a stray dog running towards a pole. Soon I thought of a certain detective. You mean me? Sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir, sorry. You in the coat. Me, sir. Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But sir. Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too then. Wait, you with the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me? Sir? Like a word with you. But sir, I'm not licensed. You're spiky hair. You're free to go. Mr. Wright. Uh-oh. To be continued. Look, pal, I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew I'd be fired like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gantz was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally getting the picture. Why is she kept eerily silent about it all the time? Anyway, you listen to me, pal. I'm going to try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. We lost Emma, though. After that, I heard from Emma. She went to the police and asked her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Alright. I see, so the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. There's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day of court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you I can't... What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really, I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the very beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. You know that it is lurking... I know who it is lurking behind your words. Me did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, you can't be persuaded otherwise. Thick-headed is the term you use to believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. Talk! Talk, please, freaking talk! I have to admit, I was a little more than perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That was when it hit me. It's not like you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. Certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think more like afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is the person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. Well, Miss Skye? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Don't forget your place. I think she's not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before the Board of Inquiry for what you did. Specifically hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are seriously offensive. Why is it, though, that the Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second command of all the investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you need more than just words. You have to show proof that Chief Gant falsified information in the case. How about this? I just found this in a safe in the Chief's office. This is a jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. If as you surmise, I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly expect him to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. The murder of Detective Goodman. Perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that is more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it in the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Remember when I said I would be right? This is me being right. This is I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken. I discovered that the murder weapon was, while still being inspected... discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon... You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave it that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking in the thought of stabbing him. So I ended up cutting my hand. And the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. A start, huh? Why did you need to hide the Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't want to ever open it again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. Word got out which it would. Reporters would have field day with that. So you wrapped up the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister. To tell her what had happened, to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma. I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma was so confident. Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of the phone calls, I had a bad feeling about the one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received his order from Chief Gamp, first thing I did was make a phone call. Phone call to patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall, why on earth to call him? The lead investigator for the SO9 incident had to be murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. The only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on his own escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already started on the ID card, but it seems he hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident to it in the evidence room. Ooh. I didn't explain that, but yeah. Touche. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, but both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. There's only one way to drive Lana's demons. I've got to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. This case just keeps going on and on, right? Well, that'll be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, my name is Chaos. But you should go down in the description, check out my links, join us on Twitch and other places for more. But that is it for me. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, my name is Chaos. I'm signing off. Stay safe, and as always.